Greetings, this is Michael Snell, aka the Style Doctor, coming to you from Columbia, South Carolina, with the Michael Snell Style Doctor Show. Last week, we did an introduction to the show. This week, we're going to talk about a few other items, such as give some style tips. We're going to touch it again on the crawl, walk, run phase of any facet of your life. And I'm also going to talk about what to wear and what not to wear during the summertime. I appreciate everybody who's been enjoying the ride, the journey with me, and I want to thank you for those who continue to support. If you have not already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The link will be on below. Also, my website, that link will be below as well. There will also be the notes or whatever, the words or something about the show will probably be listed one in there as well as with our sponsor. But show is live. I'm not here. I'm not an English teacher, so I'm not going to speak properly every time. It's not rehearsed, so this is raw, uncut, uncensored, and we're going to talk about men's style, getting us back to where we're supposed to be, being more professional, more stylish, and having our queens on our arms, looking happy, making them smile, and that's the beauty of all of it, because clothes has a way of talking to us, even when we don't have a voice of our own. Allow your clothes to do the talking for you. I'm not saying all that flamboyant stuff that's going around here. I'm talking about allow your clothes to do the talking for you before you open your mouth. So I hope you stay tuned. Get ready for the show. It's going to be nice. It's going to be a nice one. You don't want to miss it. And check me out on Facebook as well. We'll be going live on Facebook as well. So look forward to it. And I'm happy. I'm happy to be in this place that I'm in my life. And I hope you are too. Continue to enjoy what you're doing, and I appreciate you. Michael Snell Bespoke, the Style Doctor, out. Welcome to the Style Corner with your host, Michael D. Snell, aka the Style Doctor. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Today I want to talk about dressing appropriately for the summer. Yes, it's hot out here. Traveling yesterday, it was 95 degrees, and it's going to get hotter wherever you are, unless you're in some tropical place where the weather is perfect. But here are a few tips. Don't be afraid of dressing in colors. Again, layer your clothes. Try to choose clothes that allow air to flow through them, like your soft cottons, your linens, your seersuckers, your mandarin plaids. Those items, you can get away with wearing them in the hotter type weather. Also, don't be afraid of colors. Add some colors. Try to stay away from the dark, gloomy colors like your blacks and your dark blues. That has a tendency of attracting heat. So if you can go with, I'm not saying go with a lime green suit or a lime green leisure suit or walking suit, but go with some colors that, kind of like reflect the sun, from away from you, allowing you to stay cooler. So now, the tips I wanted to add today are about this. Just because it's hot outside doesn't mean you shouldn't dress appropriate. The weather shouldn't change how you dress. The only thing the weather should be doing is making you dress to conform to the weather. So just because it's hot outside, please don't come out here with your sandals on and your white beaters and your cargo pants, shorts. Yes, they're nice. I'm not saying not to wear shorts. Wearing shorts are appropriate, but there's a way to wear your shorts, and there's also a way to stay stylish when you're doing it. So today I have on a unlined suit. It's 90 plus degrees here in Columbia, South Carolina. The shirt that I have on is also made out of it's a lacquer material, which allows air to flow through it. Still stylish, but I'm not hot. Now, if I would have had on a fully lined or fully crevassed suit, it would have caused me my body to retain heat. The third layer I have underneath is my t-shirt. I don't go anywhere without wearing a t-shirt, because what a t-shirt does, it helps absorb some of the moisture from getting to your outer garment, which is your shirt, which eventually gets to your jacket if you're wearing a suit. In all of our suits, what we do in our suits, we also provide you with a sweat guard in your arm and your armpits for those people who kind of sweat a little heavy, you have the ability to detect the sweat from bleeding through your outer garment, which is your jacket. So those are a few essential style tips. I want to recap real quick. Try to stay away from some of your darker colors this time, your blacks and your blues. You can get away with some grays. Interject color. Please interject. Men, have vision. Don't be afraid of adding color. I'm not saying, go crazy with the lime green, leisure suits, but there's nothing wrong with adding a color. There's different ways to wear it. Whether you want to add color to your shirt, you want to add color to your tie, you want to add color to your socks, you want to add color to your suit. You can do so. Right now, I'm crafting a green suit. Yes, I'm gonna be wearing a green suit here soon. I know green doesn't look good on me, but when you're dressing, you have to be cognizant of your complexion. Now, a light-skinned African American man probably wouldn't look good in a green suit. A dark-skinned man like me, cocoa brown, I can probably get away with wearing a green suit because it's close to my complexion. So when you're looking for colors, also stay within the color wheel, understanding if you're a lighter skinned person, you're a dark skinned person, you're Caucasian or you're Indian, understand that your color palette should also coincide with your complexion. We can try to get away with adding a lot of colors to us, but a lot of times it comes across looking cheesy if your skin does not match the colors that you're trying to put on. So then the third tip was talking about, I think it was 3 tips I gave you. Whatever. 1 tip, 2 tips, 3 tips, it doesn't make a difference. The idea behind here is to make sure you dress comfortable, you dress in layers, don't be afraid of color, and make sure you have vision. Don't get painted into a box and stay within that box wearing the same things over and over and over again. If you have any questions, you know how to reach me. This is the Style Doctor, Michael Snell. My number will be listed below. The website will be listed below as well as, guess what? My lookbooks and style guides. Treat yourself to something nice if you want to look good. Oh, one more tip. I'm sorry. Can never forget about this. Sunglasses. Sunglasses are important. Understand the circumference of your face determines what type of sunglasses you wear. The way my face is built, wafers look better on my face. Your face may be built where you may need to be wearing oval-shaped glasses. So understand, your sunglasses are important. Protect yourself, and always, when you're out and about and it's hot, remember to hydrate. Your skin loves water. Your body is mostly made of water, so the more water you put into your body, the happier your skin is going to be, and the cooler you're going to stay. This is the Style Doctor, Michael Snell. Until next time. Greetings, Michael Snell, aka the Style Doctor. I'm back again talking to you now about my books. Ladies and gentlemen, I've created self-published 3 books out of the necessity to help men build their style. My wife and I gave birth. We have 2 children, but we also created 3 additional children, which are my 3 books. My first book that I ever created was Dress Your Way to Success. It's important to understand that when you're walking outside of your home, or you're going to do an interview, or you're trying to go for some funding for capital venture or something like that, you need to dress the part and understand how to put things together. And I know a lot of men out here are colorblind, and we don't have the ability to put things together. So I've simplified it in my books. So it's very photo driven. A lot of men, not stereotyping everybody, don't like to read. So it has an abundance of photos inside to help you understand how to put things together, what color goes with what, the difference in shoes, the shape of the shirt, those type things. That's book number 1. Michael Snell, aka the Style Doctor here. Thank you for joining me. Today I want to talk about my book, The Power of Your Look. I understand that your look has a very important part in how people interact with you. In this book, I specifically talk about the rules on wearing rings. We talk about how to clean and condition and polish your shoes. We talk about the 3 products required to maintain your shoes. Talk about the versatility. We also talk about how to create an outfit for Michael Snell Bespoke for under $500. Veteran transition from the military, how to dress appropriately, appropriate attire. I know in the military we're used to wearing uniforms, but a lot of times when we transition from the military, we don't understand how corporate America wants us to dress, the requirements. So this book is a very robust book. I also talk about the difference between fragrance, perfumes, toilet and cologne. All of this information plus more inside of The Power of Your Look. Welcome back to the Rebirth of the Gentleman. This is Michael Snell, aka your Style Doctor. And today I have a guest with me, Mr. O'Neal Francis.
Yes, hello. Great to be here.
Pleasure to meet you as well.
Yes.
So just a little tidbit. O'Neal and I have been knowing each other for probably off and on for about 2 decades. Him and I first met at Dudley Products as Dudley reps. Then, joined the military, and one of my last assignments in the military, I'm in Korea, and guess who I run into? O'Neal. So, Mr. O'Neal has an organization, a nonprofit organization that he's passionate about. I want to give him a few minutes to talk about his organization, and then we're going to talk about how I feel as though, the Style Doctor could help implement or help and influence what he's doing with his nonprofit organization. So, can you tell us a bit about your nonprofit organization?
Okay. So originally, when we were in Korea, we started with Good Schools for Africa, which was an organization based out of Korea to help the different communities in Africa, help teach the youth how to not only come into the international business on the international stage, but also to be able to speak and do presentations. So we modeled a lot off of the speaking platforms, getting youth to actually compete in oratorical competitions, teaching them how to interact with business, reading, Wall Street Journal. Okay. Well, if you became a CEO of a company, then what kind of, your conversation would change.
Yes.
And how do you present yourself? And that's when we introduced, or when you introduced us to Gentleman versus Swag and the whole style, and that clicked off the idea. Well, the next piece other than just the conversation, is your appearance, yes, which really sets the mode and the tone for most business interactions.
Okay.
So it was a great time, and I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. It's taken off.
Well, we have made strides at Gentleman vs. Swag, which is my parent company. Michael Snell Bespoke is just a brand. Gentleman vs. Swag LLC is the parent company for everything that I do. It covers my magazines, it covers my books, and it also encompasses Michael Snell Bespoke, the clothing brand. But there, you hit on a topic, the importance of your look, or how the transition from one conversation with your peers and being able to transition to another conversation when you're talking to someone in corporate America. A lot of the youth that I see today, they're still stuck within the conversation that they're talking to the boys. And a lot of these young men, they haven't picked up on the traits, or maybe they're just naive to think that it's acceptable. And I find it baffling sometimes when I'm talking to young men, when they're telling me, I'm asking them a simple question about what are your short-term goals and long-term goals. And they're saying to me, I'm just trying to make it through the day.
Exactly. And so even in transition now, while we started another company to, we started to kind of move from what we were doing as just getting the kids in Africa to understand that John C. Maxwell type of training, presentation mode to a style mode. So now we've realized, especially from watching some of your programs, that when you dress, you actually change the way you speak. You sit up differently.
Yes.
It's a difference between when you have a pair of jeans on and a hoodie and you're
Kind of slouched
and
over.
then you put a suit on and you put your tie, you actually start to sit up, you start to place, it makes you feel air a sense of regalness. And how you wear your suit, like the addition you did with the ties, we did that with our kids. Just the last program we did at South Carolina State. And you remember that when we did it down
Yeah, I
at
do
the
remember
South
that.
Carolina
Yes,
State?
I do
And
remember
we
that.
talked to them about the ties, because you go out and buy a tie and the tie is kind of raggedy and
Yes.
you're adjusting it, then you get a really good tie and it sits down on you
flows.
and
Yeah.
it flows and you sit and you want people, so instead of here, you're now up
Yes.
and more regal.
Yes.
And you're like, hey, not only did I pay a lot of money for this, but do you see this tie?
It's something that's, I think that episode was I talked about how the tie comes in three parts.
Yes.
And also when you cut a tie, you use a bias cut. The bias cut allows the tie to lay down versus some of your inexpensive ties. The ties have a tendency to want to flip around.
Yes, and then you're
constantly
constantly
trying to adjust and readjust. But one of the things I think that we miss when you doing the introduction, I don't recall you telling us the name of your organization.
Okay, so my company now is Fusion Group, and we haven't really we're rebranding the nonprofit.
Okay.
So we haven't fully came up with a new name for it. But what I'm also doing is using the same nonprofit model with the fraternity, and here in South Carolina at the Chi Chi chapter of Omega Psi Phi, we're going to go into doing the Omega Gents. And the focus that I want to focus on is that whole concept of gentleman versus swag, because now we're trying to get young men to understand that if they dress appropriately, if they speak appropriately, you'll start to see a difference in how others approach you, how they address you, and you'll even see a difference in how you approach and attack life. And so I think it's overdue that we kind of update their style.
I would agree. We're going to wrap it up here in a few minutes, but I would agree on several points you made, that a lot of the young men now really truly don't understand the importance of their look. How important, and I know you're going to have some naysayers out there to talk about, well, why we have to speak a certain way, why do we have to dress a certain way, why can't society accept us for what we are, or who we are. Okay, well, you go to a planet where with that ideology is okay, and you'll be okay. But unfortunately, where we live in today's society,
Yes.
you can't sit there and expect people to accept or to pull you into the fold and embrace you when you're coming in looking lost. And that's what I think a lot of us, a lot of the men, and I applaud your fraternity for reaching back to doing the Omega Gents, because that's going to coincide with the capital E's, and I think the Alphas have another organization.
Yes.
So as fraternities, we start giving back, not so much about the partying and about the balls and the galas and the scholarships.
But the
Let us-
self-development.
Yes, let us get back to developing young men, molding these young men. So now, I don't know if you have daughters, but I have daughters, and I want my daughters to, to
Yes.
find an appropriate man, that I see fit for them in their future. And that's where the organizations like the fraternities, that you and I can both speak on, because guess what, we belong to fraternities, that we need to be doing a better job at.
Yes, I greatly agree with you.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank Mr. O'Neal Francis for coming in today and speaking with me briefly about how important style is to his organization. I want to thank you for taking the time to check out, aka the Style Doctor, Michael Snell. Please join us later. And as always, style. Welcome back. Michael Snell, aka the Style Doctor. here at the crawl, walk, run phase of your life. Today I'm going to talk about the crawl, walk, run phase when it comes to style or building a wardrobe or accomplishing that, that end state goal that you have set for yourself. But I wanted to talk specifically about style and clothes. So a lot of people say, well, Michael, you have a lot of clothes. Yes, I have a bedroom full of clothes. That's me. That's the lifestyle I live. But there was also Michael Snell 50 years ago, 40 years ago, that didn't have the monetary means or the ability to create some of the items that I've been able to create. And I would call that, phase, the crawl phase. In the crawl phase, you have to initially identify what your style is, what to look for when you're in the crawl phase. Who am I gonna, who are you gonna make yourself become? And I'm not saying, idealize somebody, but if you have a pear-shaped body shape, or you're a tall guy, you're a muscle guy, we can't dress alike. So you may have to find someone else that, that's similar to you, that's built to you, that has a certain style, and extrapolate some of that style to make it your own. Me personally, I look at people like, Will Smith, The Rock. Those gentlemen are, constantly on point when it comes to their style. But when I was a little kid, the only thing I had to look at the time was my grandfather on how he was representing himself, which you would call like the old school style. And then I would have the magazines that I would get, that would come in, your Detail, your Esquire, your GQ, your Jet magazines. I had those as to aspire to. Those were my aspirations. But when I was in a crawl phase, I didn't have the monetary means to go out and do some of the things that I wanted to do, or to buy some of the things I wanted to buy. So I had already created my style, but I didn't have the substance to go along with it. So in the crawl phase of this, I decided to take my skills to the thrift store, the hand-me-down store, and that's where I want to say should be the first stop for you in the crawl phase. Number one is identify your budget. Whether you're doing your clothing allowance, monthly, quarterly, annually. And once you've done that, you understand what you can and can't afford. Whether you're shopping, a budget is a budget. I don't care if you're buying high-end clothes or you buying clothes from the thrift store. You have to set yourself a budget. So this is how much I'm going to spend on clothes per month. Example. This is how much I'm going to spend on clothes per year. So if you say, for an example, you're going to spend $100 a month, you need to know you're going to have $1,200 allocated toward clothes. $1,200 is not a lot of money in the world of fashion or the world of style, but in a thrift store, $1,200 could be a significant amount of money when it comes to building a wardrobe, particularly for those who are struggling, to make ends meet. You just graduated from high school, in between high school and college, or you just finished in college and you're trying to land your first job. So now you have to build. And so in that crawl phase, it will behoove you to go to the thrift stores, get on their list, their mailing list. They have mailing lists at the thrift store. Say, hey, let me know when you're doing a promotion so I can come in and peruse through some of the items you have. Because a lot of these items are, coming in on consignment from people that have clothes, that were wealthy, or no longer needs them, or they may have maybe deceased and can no longer, of course, they don't need the clothes, so their family comes in and they bring them to the thrift store. I do a lot of donations that way when it comes to when it comes to getting rid of clothes, unless I know a gentleman that a similar size of mine that could possibly use them. So that is going to be the crawl phase. So next we're going to get to the walk phase. Now you've established a budget, you've gone through the thrift store, you have your style identified. Now you're walking. You're standing up straight. It just uses ideology to crawl, walk, run phase, like the ape. How the man supposedly developed from ape, and we kind of like was walking on all fours, and we started standing up more upright, and then we started standing. Same process. So in the walk phase, so now you want to probably look at, okay, I have my baseline built of what it is, of my wardrobe. Now I need to, expand it. start adding in some items that that are my items, not items that that was somebody else that became mine, which is your thrift store. So now this is where you're probably going to start introducing yourself to like box stores or shopping online. There's all kind of places you can go and buy, in the walk phase of getting, some decent, affordable suits. But one of the things you have to be very careful in this part of the phase, which is a walk, that the quality of the suits you're getting. Now you couldn't change the quality of the suits you got in the crawl phase because you were getting something from somebody else. But now you're going out spending your hard-earned money and you've increased your budget a little bit. So now you're going to have to ask the questions. How was my crevasse affixed to my blazer? Is it fused? Is it glued? Is it stitched? That determines how it falls on you. Where was the garments made? That would determine, the possibility of the quality of the workmanship that went into it. How much did they really pay for this? So now, there are a lot of places around, regardless of what city you're in, they'll spend $29 for a suit that's made somewhere in one of these sweatshops. Sorry, it's true. But then they'll turn around and mark it up 400%, 500%, and sell it to you for $199. So ideally, you paid for a $29 suit, but with all the markups, you still have a $29 suit. But you paid $400 for it, or $300 for it, or $199. Or don't let me, and especially around Easter time. Oh my God, you have the $199 special where you get 2 suits, 2 shirts, a pair of shoes, and a Bible for $199. You know the stores. They're all out. They're anywhere, in any metropolitan area. You're going to have somebody that sucks you in that way. And that's what now you at the walk phase. So I leave you with that. I'm not going to go too far into the walk phase, but because the walk phase is a very tricky phase, of the maturation process from developing your complete style. But in the walk phase, just be cognizant of how you're spending your money, stay within your budget, and make sure you do your research on the companies that you're shopping with. Now we're in the run phase. You're in the world of bespoke. You're making some decent money now. You're able to, take care of yourself a little bit better. You made some good decisions. You stuck to your budget. You've allocated additional money from other resources to incentivize your budget or to increase your budget a little bit more. Now you're in the world of bespoke. You're in my world. But guess what? My world also intertwines with the world we just came from, which is the walk world. I wanted to make sure that the garments that Michael Snell bespoke was still as affordable in the world of bespoke as what you were doing, as what you were purchasing in the walk phase. So the $400 suit you're paying for in the walk phase that's been altered to fit your body is a $400 bespoke suit by Michael Snell Bespoke, where you know what's being made. So now we're running now. We're in the running world. So now when you're in the bespoke world, you're looking at things like functional buttons, adjustable waist. You're involved in the intricate details of creating that garment. And I'm going to use suits as the topic right now. So you're going to be involved in making the suits. Well, I want a ticket pocket. I don't want a ticket pocket. I want a notch lapel. I don't want a notch lapel. I want a peak lapel. I want a single breasted. I want a double breasted. Guess what? Now you're making those decisions. But in the walk phase or in the crawl phase, you were just a victim of circumstance. You just had to take, for the most part, in the crawl phase, what was available. In the walk phase, you had a very selected group of items that you could choose from, still staying within your budget and your style, your style idea. But now in the bespoke world, you're creating. Are you aware that on my website you're able to design your own shoe? Yes. From the sole to the color, to the stitching, to the Goodwill felt, you name it, you're able to do it. That is why I wanted to make sure that I brought over from the bespoke world, which is the run phase of this conversation. I wanted to make sure that I interjected that into the walk phase, making it affordable for everybody to get the best while living on your budget. So, ladies and gentlemen, I bid you farewell. This is your man, Michael D. Snell, aka the Style Doctor, with the crawl, walk, run phase. Greetings, Michael Snell Bespoke, aka the Style Doctor's here. Today I'm talking about my third book, The Importance of Your Look. How important is your look to you? To me, it's vital. In this book, I talk about the difference between a $40 shoe and a $400 dress shoe. We talk about the difference between boxers and briefs. How to look like $1,000 for only $100. How to tie a scarf. Some of the things we think we know, but we don't really know, are in this book. I also talk about the difference of different patterns of fabric. We talk about argyles, checks, glint plaids, herringbones, houndstooth, pinstripes, tartan, window pane. We talk about all these type of fabrics in this book. Types of shirt stays. I understand. Most of you forget about the shirt stays, so that's just as important. Keeping your collar up. So, I promised my wife on this book that I will put my photo on it to let people know who I am. This is Michael Snell, aka the Style Doctor, coming to you live. Thank you. Thanks, Michael Snell, Bespoke, aka the Style Doctor. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm going to give you a quick recap of today's show. We talked about different styles to wear during the summer times. I gave some ideas about adding some color, as well as I talked about layering with some wick type of material to help you help some of the sweat dissipate from coming through your clothing. We also talked about the crawl, walk, run phase when it comes to style. Understanding that as we build our budget, we build our wardrobe, we also have other things that comes along with it. We talked briefly about what's forthcoming in the next show or the previous show. And I gave you some additional style tips. I hope you appreciate in the content we bring it to you, because it's not like I'm sitting here just pulling stuff out of the sky and throwing it on the camera. I'm very meticulous about what it is that I say and how it comes across, because I know words have meaning. So, with that, I want to say there's more information to come, down below. Just, click the button down below, wherever it is, however you have your camera situated. But understand that I need everybody to now focus on this part. The link down below to join my email, my newsletter subscription, click on that. That's going to drive me to assisting you in getting some additional information that you may need. Once you subscribe to the newsletter, we're creating what we call within the newsletter the Style Club. The members of the Style Club will also receive discounts on numerous of things, discounts on my lookbooks, discounts on my magazine. We're also going to be presenting subscriptions to certain items within my store, whether it be subscriptions to socks, subscriptions to neckties, bow ties, bracelets, or something like that. So every month you pay a fee, and every month you get sent an item, and you're like a present. You get a present every month that comes into your mail. It's just for being a subscriber to the magazine and joining this the subscription club within the Style Club. Those are some of the things that we have forthcoming for you, ladies and gentlemen, particularly my gentlemen. And I hope you understand that your style matters. We can go back and forth about the man wears the clothes don't wear the man. That's apples and oranges. But people do judge you about how you look. Appearance is everything. I don't care if you walk into a McDonald's, somebody's judging you how you look. Prime example for me. Just an example. How I've done this on numerous times. I've tested water to see how hot it is. Driving from, we drove down to Florida to visit my grandmother to pick up one of our vehicles, and we were heading back to the Northeast. And we stopped in Atlanta to check on our rental property, visit some family. And this was back in 2003. And we drove past a Hummer dealership. And I was like, wow, I want that truck. So bad guy. I asked my wife for forgiveness instead of asking for permission. So what I did, I went online, talked to my banking company. They pre-approved me for the loan. So I had my pre-approval letter. Walked into the establishment, and I was in some formal pants, not clean shaven, just travel clothes. Just driving. Nobody spoke to me. The first person that spoke to me, I said, "This is the easiest sale of your life. I want that truck. I don't need to talk to a finance person, and I want to be out here in the next 40 minutes." So if you don't think your appearance matters, you're wrong. Now, I'm not saying that it didn't go, it went that way because of the way I dressed or where I wasn't dressed, but I'm going to have to lean on the fact that it probably went that way because of how I was dressed, because they assume I was supposed to be dressed a certain way in order to come into the dealership to purchase that particular vehicle. So if you don't think your style matters, I'm sorry. And for the queens that follow me, I need you guys to start reinforcing standards. We men would do what you allow us to do. So if you're going to continue to allow us to walk around looking shamelessly and foolishly, guess what we're going to continue to do? And no, I am not saying it's your fault or it's your responsibility to dress a grown man. I'm not trying to get into that conversation. What I am saying is this. Men would do what you allow us to do. But wouldn't you want your man to look better? So if you have the keys to change the lock, to open up that closet to make him look better, why aren't you using them? Michael Snell, aka your style doctor. Make sure you join the newsletter down below. If you have any questions, 818-214-1911. And of course, you can email me. Email information will be down below as well. I want to thank everybody for joining me. As always, it's always good to look good. Michael Snell Bespoke, Style Doctor. Goodbye.